Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm right now in the middle of one of the largest bills of the year, and I'm the sponsor. Therefore, I haven't been in on all this fun. So I read this morning to see what happened yesterday, Secretary Kerry. This is in the Washington Post. President Obama promised that his nuclear deal with Iran would not be based on trust, but rather unprecedented verification. Now it turns out Obama's verification regime is based on trust after all. Trust in two secret side agreements negotiated exclusively between Iran and the International Atomic Energy Agency that apparently no one, including the Obama administration, has seen. And it goes on to say it turns out that only two parties, the IAEA and Iran, have get to actually see it. However, well, and then further in the U.S. News and World Report, it says, by law, the administration is required to provide Congress with the contents of the nuclear deal and all related matters in annexes. Secretary Kerry, do you agree with that analysis of the law, what your requirement is?
Senator, let me just say to clarify on the earlier part of the question, Congress will be fully briefed on this agreement in a classified session. And indeed, one of our key negotiators, the day-to-day lead negotiator, Wendy Sherman, was briefed on it, and Ernie Moniz was likewise briefed on it. So we are aware of what the basics of it are. It is standard procedure. I mean, there are 189 countries that have an agreement with the IAEA that are signed up to the NPT. Not that many have agreements.
My question is, are we entitled to all the related materials and indexes?
Yes, those that are part of the agreement per se.
Now,
this is by reference, and no country has access to the confidential agreements directly of the IAEA in a country.
Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt you, but my time is limited here. I can't imagine that this wouldn't be a part of what we all would be briefed on. Now, yesterday, when Congressman Poe asked the question, he said the secret deal. Secretary Rice said that she has seen the deal with the IAEA and she's going to share it with Congress. Now, that's the question. If you have seen it, since no, you see it at the same time or prior to the time that Secretary Rice saw it?
Senator, National Security Advisor Rice has not seen it.
Well, she said she did yesterday.
No, she has been briefed on it. I gave her exact quote to Congressman Poe, and the exact quote is that she has seen, she's been briefed on it. She hasn't actually seen the agreement.
I'll give you her quote and make sure it's in the record here. It says, she said she did. She did see it. She did evaluate it. She said she did 6 days ago. That's 7 days ago now. She said 6 days ago she had seen it and reviewed it, and that Congress will get to see it in a classified section.
Congressman, you're quoting, Senator, you're quoting Congressman Poe.
Who is quoting her? This is in quotation marks.
I corrected him with her direct quote, which we took from public record. Her quote says that she has been briefed. She has not seen it.
I have not seen that because I don't think that she did correct that. That was specific on something that happened 6 days before. As a matter of fact, that was in the Hill magazine.
The White House press briefing directly.
The Hill magazine had something about that, and that was prior to the time. It was 7 days ago today, Secretary Kerry, that we had a confidential classified briefing, right? I was there, you were there, most of the people at this table were there. And I would say this, in a classified session, you can't say what was said, but was that addressed at all?
Was that
addressed at all?
It was addressed, it was, a question came up about it, and the answer was given that, of course, Congress will be briefed with respect to the contents. And, of course, you need to be briefed. Everybody needs to be briefed.
My point is, Mr. Secretary, that that was a classified session where we were in a position to be briefed at that time, and we weren't.
I don't think we had the full material to brief. I didn't have it anyway. But we are prepared, and I think Wendy Sherman is going to be briefing very shortly on that, Senator. But what we did provide, what we can provide, is the actual roadmap that the IAEA put out. And the IAEA has issued a full roadmap of what their expectations are.
I understand that, but I'm talking about the deal, the secret documents.
Well,
that's what I'm referring to.
It's a confidential agreement. It's being postured as this great sort of side. It's a confidential agreement which is the standard procedure of the IAEA. And we have lived with the IAEA, Senator. We have relied on the IAEA for years and years.
Okay.
And historically, the IAEA always creates what's called a comprehensive safeguards agreement, a CSA, which they negotiate with a country. And we don't get that exact, it's not shared with the world. And there are reasons that it's confidential that have to do with what you can get out of that country, but we do get briefed on it. We're aware of it. Secretary Moniz has actually made some recommendations to the IAEA for them to actually tighten it up a bit. I think, Secretary Moniz, you've certainly got confidence in it, in what you've heard.
My time has expired, but I would say to the chairman, it's incomprehensible that we didn't have full access to that, and I think most of the people agree with that, but my time expired. Thank you.